Welcome back to the Vancouver Island Trail. We are venturing out on our third section now. In case you missed the first two episodes of my Vancouver Island Trail series, Brian and I have now hiked a total of 210 kilometers, that's 130 miles, from the northern terminus in Cape Scott all the way to Woss. In this episode, episode 3, we embark on our third section to hike from Woss to Strathcona Dam, a 114 kilometer, 71 mile section through extremely challenging terrain. When we set off for this 6-day stretch, we didn't know it yet, but this would be the toughest section of our entire hike and a couple of the hardest hiking days I have ever had. From bushwhacking to blowdowns, bear encounters, and wasp stings, this section pushed us to our limits. I hope you enjoy coming along for the ride. We're at the end of the old rail line now. As soon as the rail line ended, there was a solid section of difficult bushwhacking before we made it to the smoother trail around the lake. Then we walked past the Mount Cain turnoff. Fun fact, Mount Cain is where Brian and I met back in 2017. Mount Cain! We've made it to a section now that is quite difficult wayfinding. Brian has his GPS open 100% of the time right now, so he's leading and spotting all these little flagging tapes, but they're too spread out to actually spot, one to one to one. You have to guess in between or follow the GPS, which isn't always 100%. We made it to the river and just did a dip in the river, so my hair is wet. It's so glorious having this little patch of shade. We've laid out all of our wet stuff and it's all drying in the sun right now. So we'll probably do I'm guessing an hour break here, and we're just over halfway for the day. The last kilometer or so was extremely slow going in comparison. It's just so nice to be here at this river. It just feels so much like summer, because it is, but it's just such a good feeling. The route goes along this river, but there's no trail. So we've decided to just fully commit to wearing our sandals and hiking the river because the water is not very deep or fast moving. And the river bed is all pretty level rock. So it's the perfect conditions to just do a sandal walk. And it's the perfect temperature too. So right now this feels extremely adventurous. Once we finished our river walking, we had to get back into the forest to rejoin the trail. Unfortunately, where we had decided to go, there were tons of logs piled up. We tried to avoid walking on the logs whenever possible, but when we had to, I very cautiously tested each log before stepping on it to ensure it wasn't going to move. This can be very dangerous, so in hindsight, we probably would have stuck to the forest route even though it was very slow going. We're almost at camp now. Probably half a kilometer to go. Feeling sore and tired, but overall feeling good. Dinner time, and it is burrito bowl. That's really good. This one's one of my favorite dehydrated meals. It's just so flavorful and so satiating. I've got my favorite recipes on my website, KrysNorwick.com. If you want them. The ones that didn't work out, I didn't put on the website, I promise. It's day 14 here on the Vancouver Island Trail. We just got going, and the first thing we're doing today is route finding through this incredibly beautiful forest.
Nice.
Those are so good.
Yeah. Power move.
You got this. This section is a mix of trail, route, and logging road. It might seem like logging road walking wouldn't be enjoyable, but it was often a very welcome relief from difficult route finding and bushwhacking. We've made it to this nice stream. We decided to stop here even though we hadn't been going for that long because our next water is in 5K and part of that's bushwhacking. It's a hot day, but it's a beautiful day and it feels amazing to be at the mountains now. I love mountains. So we're gonna do a nice break here and then we have like an 800-meter climb up on road and then a bushwhack. So that's gonna be intense, but we can do it. We've made it up to almost 1,000 vertical meters. It's been a long, slow, hot, challenging climb. But the views, the mountain behind me, worth it. We knew there were lots of elk in this region because we heard that, but also we saw like prints and poops.
You gotta show this.
I will. And we just saw a cluster of, I'd say at least 10 going up this hill just across from us. They're so awesome.
That was amazing.
They're amazing creatures, yeah. Good spot, Brian. Here's all through this mud here are signs of elk. All their prints and everything. We made it up and over our saddle, so now we're taking a break. And the rest of the day is dropping down slowly this river valley and then finding somewhere to camp along the way. So tired. We are at an absolutely perfect campsite. So stoked about this. Beautiful river. We set up, we have our clothing drying out, so feels good to be here.
Holy cow, that looks so good.
Yeah, looks really good. We've got a pasta with sun-dried tomatoes, olives, capers, artichoke hearts, carrots, broccoli. It's rehydrated quite nicely. That's good. That's really good. Good morning, it's day 15 here on the Vancouver Island Trail. We had a great sleep and we decided to relax a little bit this morning. So it's about 9:30 a.m. now and we have 15 kilometers to do today, 10 in the trail, 5 on a logging road probably. Right after Brian finished on that, walking along that log, he stepped off of it and started to get stung. He got stung by like 10 wasps or 10 times and I went around and we were just starting to regroup when we disturbed a second wasp nest and I got stung. It was scary. I definitely cried. It was painful. That was such a good, refreshing swim. We've been trying to swim at least once a day, and we both looked down when we walked across this bridge, and we thought that was like the perfect swimming hole. It's been really hot and feels so good to get cooled off.
Okay, water's a-going, baby.
We made it to camp and it's stunning. This is a nice site.
Yeah.
Nice picnic table.
Dead things above us. Yeah, this is amazing.
Nope, no dead trees above us. Wow. Oh, so good to be here. That was a tough day. We're sweaty. Okay, dinner's ready. When we eat our homemade rehydrated meals, we put them in the pot with water, bring it to a boil, and then let it sit with the lid on for 10 minutes, and then everything is ready to go. And I'm wearing my full rain gear because the mozzies here are pretty bad. Mozzie equals mosquito. That was one just on my face. This is our red lentil dal. It's kind of like a soup. A lentil stew, lentil soup. That hits the spot, especially on a slightly cooler night after a day of hiking. That's good. Yeah.
It's delicious.
That's really, really good. Good morning. It is day 16 here on the Vancouver Island Trail. I had a bit of a restless sleep last night. I'm not so sure why. It was a nice, amazing camp spot, but anyway, I still feel okay waking up. I feel rested enough. And we are headed out on a difficult day today. So we've got about 20K to do, lots of climbing, apparently lots of bushwhacking and blowdowns. So we will see how it goes. So Brian's just finishing packing up behind me and then we'll head out. There we go.
There we go.
I've lived on the island basically my whole life, and there's so many spots I've never been to. This is so stunning, this lake. That's the lake we camped at last night, so we've already climbed so much. It's so nice.
Every moment tonight, they led me to you.
What just happened?
Well, that's our third round of wasps. Wasp nests that we found. I got both ankles stung.
Oh my goodness.
And then Krista took off like a lightning bolt in a good way, because that was the plan we made.
If you don't move, like if you disturb a nest, if you don't move away from it quickly, you're gonna get so many stings.
Yeah.
You do not want to stop there, even though you want to stop and try to like slap away the wasps. We decided we would run away from the nest, and then as soon as they weren't bugging us anymore, we would take a break, let our adrenaline come down so that we don't do movements when our adrenaline's pumping and we don't notice that we might be tweaking something. So that's what we're trying to do now. Our tent is set up right on the trail. This zone is just like a very, very old road, mostly bush bashing through. So got to a point where I had to just stop and regroup emotionally, physically, all of the things. And Brian decided to set the tent up for us. So we had a nice lie down in the tent away from the mosquitoes. They're not too bad here, but like they're still here, you know? They're still bugging us. You ready to go, love?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be good.
We'll break down the tent and then we'll get going again. Sometimes you just gotta stop and set up the tent partway through the day. Here's the trail. Brian's trying to figure out how to push through. That's where it goes. He's taking a little detour around to see if he can get around these trees. This sort of blowdown is the hardest to get through because of all the branches. Nice work, Boo. Just had my scariest moment, maybe on trail ever. I thought I was following a reroute trail around this huge blowdown here, but I guess I was following, I don't know, something else, because we could have just stayed on this side of this and it would have been fine. But as the slope got steeper and steeper into a cliff, I was about to try to climb over the blowdown when I upset another wasp nest and I got stung 3 times, and I did start to panic. The wasps were circling me and I was at the edge of a cliff and I had to get over this huge tree, and I was starting to really freak out. And Brian really helped talk me down, and he told me the more calm you are, the less likely the wasps will keep stinging you, and he was completely right. I just stopped moving and calmed my breathing. And then I was able to climb over the log. But I'm still shaking. That was horrible. This trail right now, this stretch of trail is absolutely horrible. Like there's no sugarcoating it. It's terrible. So I have 3 new stings, which sucks. Nice movement.
Get you. The moves you did are impressive. Oh my goodness, good job staying alive.
We decided we should set up camp early after I had my second big cry of the day. We ended up having a very scary night. I'll tell you about it in the morning. Last night, there was a bear walking towards us on this log. Like this is right in front of us. This is 20 meters at most away. And then at another point, there was a single bear coming at us from right here. And the first bears we saw was a mom and cub right over here walking down this slope towards us. And we had to really yell at them. And then what we did is we crossed the stream last night to hang the food on the other side of the stream as us, because it became very obvious that the bears just kept coming back because of our food. And it smelled so good to them. The food the bears were smelling was the dinner we had rehydrated and heated up. It was a Thai red curry, and I guess it smelled very enticing to them. This was the scariest bear encounter I have ever had because the bears were not scared off easily. We prioritized finishing our dinner quickly, cleaned out our pots, and hung the ursacks far away from us. Thankfully, the bears never visited our camp again, but we were ready to get out of this area. We finished Glenn's trail, and that trail was a roller coaster ride. I'm so glad we're done. Nice bench seat. So here's the bridge. It is out, so we are going to have to ford across the river, and it looks pretty deep here. Okay, we just finished going through the old growth grove, and we have hit the logging road, and this was just like, oh, I've been looking forward to this moment all day because it means the really difficult trail is behind us on this section. We have a little bit more trail to do, but mostly we've got logging road to finish up this section before we head into Campbell River for some much needed rest. I feel like we had to lay everything on the line to get those kilometers done. They are tough hiking. Oh, I'm so happy. We did it! We are off on our nightly quest to find a good tree to hang the ursacks in. We do this every single night. All of our food, garbage, and anything scented like sunscreen, toothpaste, dental floss, all in the ursacks. Like to pull it nice and tight so that no critters can get inside. There you go. We also put all of our food inside Ziplocs so that hopefully that blocks some of the scent, so they're less of an attractant for bears. And then this fabric is supposed to be bear resistant, like their claws and their teeth can't cut through it. So far so good for us.
What about the whole, like, rodents?
The hole at the top here, we tie our rope around it really tight so that a rodent wouldn't be able to fit in here. And so far, this technique has always worked. Like, we've never had a rodent get in. Walking back to camp now. There's our tent. Everything's done, all the outside chores are done, so now we can just get inside. Usually once we're in the tent, I edit my daily video, my daily short video, do my voiceover for that. I journal about the day, and Brian calculates all of our kilometers for the day, and then we fall asleep pretty much right away because we're so tired. That was literally perfect timing. As we were getting in the tent, it started to rain. So lucky. So now we're here. We've already set everything up, so time to go to bed and I guess listen to the rain. Good morning. As you can probably hear, it's raining. So Brian and I are just trying to get everything packed up, and we'll hike with our ponchos on today, and I'll try to film if I can. And we've got 32K to do, so we think we'll just put our heads down, and we have my brother lined up to pick us up where the trail crosses the highway north of Campbell River, or I guess west of Campbell River. So we'll be done this section today, hopefully, if everything goes well. We made it to the Salmon River, so we have 22K left for the day. Stopped raining for now. We've got the tiniest bit of trail left, and then it's all road walking to the end. Day's going well so far. Definitely tired, like my nervous system feels exhausted from the challenges of this section. Really excited to get to the end today. Get picked up by my brother. We're gonna go stay with my parents for a few days. I can't wait. I'm at the point where I'm not even dreaming about food, I'm just dreaming about sleeping and just chilling in a house where bears can't get us. This is a culturally modified tree where you can see the bark has been stripped. Oh, big strip was pulled. The indigenous people who do this practice then make items out of it. Oh, here's a strip here, right here. There are so many of those trees that I'm spotting along the road here today, which is really cool. We made it to the Strathcona Dam, which is a huge milestone. It means we're only 3K from where my brother's picking us up. We hiked a little bit past the Strathcona Dam to an intersection where my brother could pick us up at. The relief we felt when we arrived was indescribable. After such a challenging section, we knew we needed a few rest days. My brother arrived with his 2 dogs and some cold drinks for us. Trail magic. We headed into Campbell River where we would rest for a few days before hitting the trail again. See you next week for episode 4.